Good day and welcome to EJC News, your monthly recap of news items taking place across the East Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm Flavia Phillips Lawrence. In the news, Health Minister and Senator participate in Health RunWalk. ASI mission trip comes to an end and men's convention held. The Health Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Christopher Tufton, along with Opposition Senator Dr. Floyd Morris, were featured participants in this year's Good Samaritan Inn GSI 5K Run Walk. The event took place on Sunday, August 27. They, along with approximately 600 individuals, showed their support at the 6th annual staging of the event organized by the Andrews Memorial SDA Church. There were curious onlookers who marveled at Dr. Tufton leading Dr. Morris, who is visually impaired, in the race. Dr. Tufton spoke on why he decided to participate in the event, which supports his ministry's-led Jamaica Moves campaign.
It's important to lead by example, and I'm attempting to do that. But beyond that, the message is also very critical, and the message is that health prevention, which involves physical activity and healthy eating, healthy diet, is critical to the sustainability of personal health and certainly a much less costly way of addressing public health from a government standpoint.
Dr. Morris also spoke about his participation in the event as well.
It has been absolutely fantastic. I would do it all over again. You know, it's a wonderful exercise. It is for a wonderful cause. And, you know, we are fulfilling the mission of the church, which is to care for the most vulnerable and the needy within our society. And I am happy to be associated with this venture.
Elder Vermont Murray, manager of the Good Samaritan Inn, was pleased with how the day turned out.
We have gotten good numbers and we have had good support from the Minister of Health and from our patron. This has been a good year for us.
And this is the 6th year?
This is the 6th year, so I can just imagine the stage has been set for a bumper year in year 7.
At the end of the race, Kamar Leslie reclaimed his winning title in the 5K run, while his female counterpart, Carleen Blagrove, snatched the top spot in the women's category. The Good Samaritan Inn is a facility led and operated by the East Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists and the ASI Laypersons Services and Industries ASI to assist the needy and homeless by providing food, clothing, shelter, and health services. Meanwhile, some of those health services this month were rendered by the University of Texas School of Dentistry, which offered free dental service to hundreds of persons at the inn. A team of 45 persons served 237 clients over a 2-day period. The team was invited to Jamaica and the Good Samaritan Inn by Northern Caribbean University President Dr. Lincoln Edwards, who is a former faculty member of that dental school. The medical team offered oral examinations, cleanings, fillings, and extractions free of cost to their clients. The team had raised their own fund to support the mission and brought their own supplies to treat the patients. Manager of the Good Samaritan Inn, Vermont Murray, was happy to accommodate the team, along with East Jamaica Conference President Dr. Eric Nathan. And the goodwill continued at the Good Samaritan Inn with the pastors from EJC. They were involved in a back-to-school fair at the inn and participated in other humanitarian activities at the facility for that day, such as hair grooming. No doubt the venture was a welcomed one. The Health Minister's Department of EJC hosted a healthy lifestyle retreat in August under the theme, Being Transformed into God's Glory. Medical doctors, medical missionaries, and nutritionists were the featured presenters at the session, which focused on transforming one's health. The retreat took place at the Golden Acres Resort. Health and Stewardship Director of EJC, Elder Walden Wright, reiterated that transformation comes through having a proper lifestyle and wise daily choices.
This will involve choices that we make about good nutrition, daily exercise, yes, adequate sleep, which are the foundation for continuing good health.
Health Minister's Director of the Jamaica Union Conference, Pastor Dudley Hussein, who was also present, highlighted the acronym CELEBRATIONS, 12 healthful living principles being used by the World Church.
So health is wholeness. And friends, we can't convince others of the health message unless we look healthy. Hello? I'm a literature evangelist, and from a long time, when I went out there to sell health books, I said, if I'm going to sell health books, I must be healthy. Are you with me now?
Dr. Wilbert Reeves and Dr. Sudane Ali both outlined how to reverse non-communicable diseases such as obesity, diabetes, and hypertension.
So have your green juices. Like diabetics and hypertensive, people with cancer and all these conditions, you need to have your regular green juice daily. An 8-ounce glass like 2-3 times per day is good. And just as you extract it, you drink it.
The more appropriate thing to do would be to eat the foods that have more fiber, that can sustain the blood glucose at a more steady level for a longer period of time, so that we don't have the critical spikes and we do not have the critical lows.
After weeks of hard work, the ASI mission team, which journeyed to Panama in July, returned home safely. The team, which comprised some 44 missionaries, including some parents and team members, was led by Family, Women, Children's and Adults and Ministries Director at the EJC, Elder Claudette Genus. She especially spoke proudly about the male representation.
I would want to brag about the many males that are in the contingent. Quiero hacer alarde de la hermosa red de varones que tenemos con nosotros. At a time when all males, en muchas ocasiones, at a time when not many males, en un momento en la que no muchos varones, we thank God that these are ready for the battle for Christ.
The missionaries were assigned to various projects such as school feeding, construction of a center of influence, the painting of a bus stop, book distribution, and health fairs. Over 800 students benefited from the mission team's effort. 30 persons were baptized, stemming from nightly evangelistic efforts, as well as 2 weddings held. Yes, weddings. Our children missionaries spoke on the various nights.
Offering citizenship of all humanity. Friends, there will be no second-class citizen in glory.
No habrá ciudadanos de segunda clase en el cielo.
On this earth, battle raged.
En esta tierra hay una batalla.
On the cross, the decisive victory was won.
Y la victoria fue decidida en la cruz.
Satan became a defeated foe.
Satanás fue un enemigo vencido.
Anyone on the side of Satan is on the losing side.
Cualquiera que esté del lado de Satanás está en el equipo perdedor.
Church, I need to let you know tonight that we are about to wage war with the enemy.
Necesito decirles que estamos a punto de ir a guerra contra el enemigo.
The church, we're going to be prepared for this war.
Tenemos que estar preparados para esta guerra.
You see, we are going out on behalf of God Himself to wage war with the enemy.
Y vamos en nombre de Dios a pelear contra el enemigo.
Men had a special day earmarked for them this month during the staging of the men's convention held at the Hagley Park SDA Church. Pastor Joseph Smith from the Jamaica Union was the main speaker.
The power for us as men, and by extension for all of us as Christians, to live up to these noble ideals outlined by Paul in this passage comes from God.
The day also featured male groups from the Hagley Park, Woodford, and Andrews Memorial churches. There were several features in the form of presentations on issues relating to men's health, relationships, and oral health as well. The convention was planned by the Men's Ministries Department of the conference.
Never before has so many articles been published voicing concerns about men, whether it be health, relationship, education, or just their social stance. As the book written by Sister Ellen White says in Education chapter 57, the greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who will not be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. Men who will stand for the right though the heavens fall.
EJC President Dr. Eric Nathan captivated the attention of graduates with a moving presentation during Northern Caribbean University's baccalaureate service. His message for the day was titled Secrets for Successful Mission. He shared with the graduates and the hundreds gathered several points which, if followed, would lead to success.
One of the signs of success is to be able to see the invisible. For those who can see the invisible are able to do the impossible. For God is God, and with God all things are possible.
Several benefited from the first Publishing and Spirit of Prophecy Convention for the year, which was held at the Dallas SDA Church. Publishing Ministry and Community Services Director in Central Jamaica Conference, Pastor Everett Smith, who was the main speaker, highlighted the importance of the prophetic writings to the church and urged members who use the writings of Ellen G. White to cause division in the church to desist from doing so. Pastor Smith also highlighted the role the publishing ministry plays in the Seventh-day Adventist Church today, noting it is on par with the gospel ministry and colporteurs should not be looked down upon. Meanwhile, youngsters participating in the Diplomats program got a chance to visit the Prime Minister, the Governor General, the Jamaica Union Conference, and Northern Caribbean University as part of the program being coordinated by the Publishing and Spirit of Prophecy Department of the conference. Prime Minister Andrew Holness reminisced about younger years.
Now, I remember not so long ago, a few years ago, during the summer, I used to attend Vacation Bible School. The church still has Vacation Bible School?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I went to Spanish Town SDA.
NCU President Dr. Lincoln Edwards had some sound word of advice for the diplomats, noting that networking is critical to success in life.
So you must have a network of people who you can rely on. And you can ask for advice, you can ask for their help, or they can give you, point you in the direction that you would like to go. So networking is critical. So get to know as many persons as you can who are successful. You want to ally yourself with successful individuals so that you can model them and be successful too.
In July, some 40 young people were tested about their knowledge of scripture and prophecies during a playoff. The Diplomats program targets youngsters between the ages of 6 and 22 years and was designed to prepare them for the kingdom of God by encouraging them to read the Bible and the prophetic writings. The Publishing and Spirit of Prophecy Director at EJC explains more.
So we thought of a plan, something that we could start making our young people to be changers of situations around them and in their community. And we figured that the Bible is the best way to start. And so we have a kind of quiz. We do not like the word competition because we don't want them to have a competitive spirit in this. But we encourage them, we ask them to do certain studies in books of the Bible, like the book of Ruth, the book of Daniel. They had to study various chapters. And then we have some books that are written by a very important person in our church, Ellen G. White. And so we ask them to also study from these books.
The children will be exposed to a wide range of other areas, including grooming and culinary ethics. This will be in addition to the prescribed readings from the Bible and the prophetic writings of Ellen G. White. Seventh-day Adventists across East Jamaica Conference lifted up the nation before God during the Day of Prayer for the Nation on August 5. The day was celebrated under the theme Brokenness to Wholeness at the Meadowvale SDA Church. Over the past few years, Adventists in Jamaica have designated the first Sabbath in August as a special day of prayer for the nation and have used the opportunity to invite civic leaders to participate in the worship service on this day. Prayer Ministers Coordinator for the Jamaica Union and Speaker for the Divine Service, Pastor Dudley Hossin, chided the church for its tendency to try to solve problems on its own without calling upon the Lord. In his prayer for the nation, Conference President Dr. Eric Nathan asked the Lord to intervene in the affairs of the nation and asked him to grant leaders the wisdom to lead the country. Prayer coordinator in the conference, Pastor W. Cedric McAnuff, prayed for the local leaders of the church and gave God thanks for his protection over his people. The Education Department hosted its annual professional development seminar for teachers, principals, and vice principals falling within the education system of the church. That would include educators from the 6 conference schools and some from a few church basic schools. Some 90 persons were in attendance. They were encouraged ahead of the start of the 2017-2018 academic period about executing their duties and the service expected of them. There were also presentations from children's rights personnel as well as from a visually impaired individual on catering to the needs of these categories of persons. And for a look at events to come in the month of September and onwards, please visit our website at www.ejcsda.com and subscribe to our mailing list. And you can also have a look at our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at EJCSDA. And that caps this month's edition of EJC News. God bless.